Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today I want to talk about the Anvil Paladin. This is mostly because it looks like it's going to be released during CitizenCon this year on the 11th of October or around the release of Alpha 4.3.2, which is the expected October patch. And one of the reasons we think the Paladin is going to be released real soon is because, well, in the monthly report, it's basically saying, yeah, very close to release. And in the CitizenCon digital goodies pack, there's a flight suit and helmet, which are the same colors and markings as the Anvil Paladin. So yeah, I want to talk about the ship, where it sort of lands on the hierarchy of other ships, some drama around it, and the Redeemer, which is its closest competitor. So the ship was last on sale for $300, I believe, and I'd expect it to go up to $330, $350 when it goes flyable. You typically have to wait an additional 3 or so months before that ship will make it into in-game shops so that it's purchasable for Alpha UEC. It is a big, tanky gunship. That is its focus. It competes against the Redeemer, and I think technically the Retaliator is a gunship as well, but really it competes against the Redeemer. Both ships suit a range of 1 to 4 crew, but work very well with, or at least on paper, 2 to 3 in a lot of cases. The Redeemer is older, but is flyable now. It got nerfed last year, that ship as well. Around the same time they announced the Paladin. So the Redeemer is faster and less tanky is the idea, as far as I am aware, with it now having 6 size 2 shields, whereas it previously had, I think, 2 size 3, which were significantly more effective health-wise. It's faster, it's got a lot of redundancy with lots of smaller shields, and it has more smaller weaponry than the Paladin has. The Paladin focuses on its central, large quad turret, which is movable on a rail, much like the Scorpius, and the ship is much more of a tank. Now, I do want to put a big prefix here as well, that the Paladin might change somewhat from its concept to when we get it to flyable, like its component sizes and that sort of stuff. The role that it's supposed to fill, which is a tankier, slightly different version of a gunship than the Redeemer, will remain the same, but exactly what components it's got, yeah, very well may change. So CIG did say in the Q&A, how does the Anvil Paladin compare to the Aegis Redeemer? So their answer here was, while both are gunships, they have different takes on that role and playstyle. The changes that were made to the Redeemer's turret weapon and shield sizes are offset by a significant boost to maneuverability. This allows the Paladin to occupy the tankier gunship role. Both ships have strengths and weaknesses, the Paladin trading agility for raw firepower and speed for armor, allowing players to choose a ship to suit their playstyle. The handling of the Paladin will be like the Redeemer was before those changes, which is more befitting a ship of its size and shape versus the much more compact Redeemer. And unlike the Redeemer, the Paladin has no modular rooms, which is still planned for the Redeemer's lower floor. So the Redeemer is planned to have some level of modularity, but we don't have a timeline on that. It could be at CitizenCon even, but it could be next year, who knows. Let me give you some more of the flavour of the Paladin. Heavy barrage gunship. Anvil Aerospace is on the front line of humanity's defence, forging the weapons that keep Earth systems safe from the dangers outside and within. Continuing that tradition, the Paladin spares no one, cutting down threats in a relentless hail of laser fire. Heavyweight turret. The formidable main turret, by default equipped with size 5 bearing laser weapons, tears through shields in seconds, leaving even the most fearsome ships incapacitated. Track mounted for unmatched reach and visibility, the main gun is an offensive and defensive powerhouse, whatever the target. This is interesting because it's not a bespoke weapon. You can chuck whatever size 5 weapons you want on it, and then it has a very similar movement as the Scorpius's rail turret does. So you can have it in the central position, or you can have it go down so it's pointing to the rear of the ship, which allows you to deal with chasing enemies or enemies on the ground as you're taking off more easily. Relentless support fire. 2 dual remote turrets safeguard the Paladin's flanks, preventing dead spots and ensuring an all-round firing arc. The offensive loadout is completed by 6 missile racks, providing long-range engagement to end battles early or draw foes in towards the main turret. United Arms Each turret hardpoint can be manned by a dedicated crew member, allowing the pilot to focus solely on flying while gunners maintain pinpoint accuracy. When operating with a smaller crew, the pilot can take control of the wing turrets, ensuring no defensive position is left unmanned. During quieter moments, crew can relax in their own private bunks with onboard living amenities, providing comfort and convenience no matter where the Paladin is deployed. So as far as I'm aware, the main turret, the big turret, does need to be operated by a dedicated gunner. That might have changed. You might be able to slave it forwards with the pilot, or you might be able to in the future put a blade in there, one of the little computer items that allow it to be semi-autonomous. But the ship will run optimally with 4 people, a pilot, 2 side gunners, and then a 1 gunner on the main turret. But you could run it pretty effectively just with 2 people. We've got some labelled shots of the exterior and interior of the ship. Now, this again might have changed a little bit over the concept and creation process of the ship, but probably not much. 1, we've got the quad size 5 remote turret. 2, we've got the size 4 remote wingtip weapons. 3, we've got the cockpit and the blast shields there. So there are blast shields that come down that will eventually give you some additional armor. Now moving into the upper deck of the ship, we've got the pilot and co-pilot at number 4. At 5, and I believe mirrored on the other side of the ship, we've got the crew habitation area, basically little crew quarters. 6, there's a central traversal area with stairs to the lower deck, and it's going to be how you move between the decks, and then moving down into the lower decks. 7, we've got the gunner's seats. I'm not sure if they have full remote access to any turret of their choice, or if it's just the wing-tipped mounted weapons. I am hoping that the co-pilot and those gunners can choose which turret to remote to, but they're effectively directly under the pilot and co-pilot. And then at 8 at the rear of the ship, you've got the suit lockers and also an airlock area. And then 9, you've got the extension of the central traversal area, but the lower area of that from 6. The ship is quite a bit bigger than the Redeemer. So the Redeemer is 51 by 23.5 by 14. And the Paladin is similar, but quite a lot wider. So it's 53 meters by 38.5 by 14.5, effectively being 15 meters wider. It's listed with a size 3 shield generator and then loads of size 2 components, 2 coolers, 2 power plants, but pretty much every other component is a single size 2. But as I said, this could have changed quite significantly. I think we can expect the ship to have pretty heavy armor. The ship does also appear to have 6 size 4 missile racks, and I believe you can change out pretty much all of its weapons for different things. It's not bespoke in any way. Let's read some of the Q&A for the Paladin as well, bits that we haven't already talked about or answered. Regarding VTOL, the Paladin has VTOL power to handle adequately in atmosphere and maintain its position above targets, though compared to ships like the Valkyrie, it will be less agile. Is there an engineering room? The room at the rear of the upper deck is the engineering room, where the main engineering screen and majority of components are located. However, some components such as the radar, life support and gravity generator are located in other areas of the ship. Does the Paladin offer escape pods to its crew? Yes, the crew beds double as ejection pods. The Redeemer is supposed to have sophisticated shields, but they are size 2. Why does the Paladin have size 3 when it focuses more on armor? A ship's shield size does not confer any sophistication bonus, but instead alters factors such as shield health, capacity, and resistance to damage types. Generally, the larger the shield, the larger the pool. However, having multiple smaller shields can be a bonus in terms of redundancy and regeneration rates over fewer larger items. In this case, 6 size 2 shield generators versus a single size 3 generator. And as we've mentioned a couple of times there, the armor for this ship, when it's implemented, should be pretty good. Is there any storage in the Paladin, such as racks, lockers, or a cargo grid? There are gun racks and a personal storage for the crew, but there's not a dedicated cargo area with a cargo grid. Compared to similar sized ships like the Valkyrie, how well armored is the Paladin? The Paladin is well armored and able to take a significant amount of incoming fire. How fast does the size 5 remote quad turret slide between top and bottom positions. It won't move quicker than the Scorpius rail turret, and you can expect it to take longer because there's a larger distance to travel. Is the Paladin still efficient if I play with just one friend as a duo? While all weapon stations are usable with only 2 total crew, it's not optimal due to the restrictions on the pilot-controlled wing weapons, so they won't be able to shoot to the rear or to the sides. If the pilot's controlling them, they'll only be shooting forwards. How is the visibility with the blast shields activated? Visibility is significantly reduced for all seats. However, the pilot is the only one impacted, as all other stations use remote weapon views. The upper and lower blast shields are independently controlled, allowing the crew to decide whether to fully or partially lock down. In the short term, those parts provide a small HP boost when deployed, but as physical damage comes online, they will provide additional damage resistance. So this was an interesting one as well, but I do expect the chip to have changed lightly internally. The internal decks show rooms that look rather empty. Can you explain the purpose of rooms 5, 6, 8 and 9? Regarding the internal floor plan, 6 and 9 cover the central traversable areas and take up space due to the number of entranceways from all connecting rooms, as well as ensuring there's sufficient space to remove components. Number 5 and the room on the opposite side are the crew quarters, each with a set of bunk beds, desk area and personal storage. Number 8 is the main entrance room to the ship and contains 4 suit lockers and a set of weapon racks for each crew member. With the ammo system in the future, players are wondering about ballistic reloading. So yeah, if you changed a load of the ship's weapons to ballistic ones, how would that work? We do still plan to have ships be able to rearm ballistic weapons, either directly on the weapon in question or from the ship's internal stores fed by players directly. And then there's just some bits confirming that there's only a single side entrance/exit ramp. It doesn't appear to be a docking collar or anything like that, though. It's just a rectangular side entrance exit with stairs. And in terms of long distance and long range operations, there wasn't really an answer to this. They said its quantum fuel tank will have similar capacity to the Valkyrie. However, given the equipped quantum drive and differing system sizes, there's no simple answer. I suppose you can fit it with a longer distance quantum drive, right? That's going to be not as good at getting there quickly, but will get you there with more fuel in your tank at the end of it. And I don't think it's supposed to be used for like super long range operations, right? It does have living quarters and areas for your crew to chill out in. It is a relatively large ship, so you should be able to run moderately long range operations, but it's not a mothership. It's got no real storage for supplies. Now, in terms of raw gunship, I really like the Paladin. I prefer it to the Redeemer. However, the fact that the Redeemer is going to have a modular nature in the future, potentially making it more of a dropship or giving it some more focused gunship options, different types of gunship options, then maybe that's going to be appealing to some people as well. I'm really interested to know if you're going to be picking one of these up yourself, or if you've got a Redeemer and you're like, no, much prefer the Redeemer, even after its nerf. What modular options do you think the Redeemer is going to have in the future? Do you think the Anvil Paladin is going to be released at CitizenCon or in Alpha 4.3.2? Do you feel that the Anvil Paladin is shameless power creep or useful choice in a world of diverse ships? Whatever your thoughts, tell me in the comments below, and also get yourself NordVPN. That's down below as well. There's links to that, or you can go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. You get a big discount. Oh, what's that? Now you have better accessibility, security, and privacy on the interwebs. I use NordVPN. You could use it too. It'll make your life just better, probably, maybe, question mark. Try it. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and for this month of September we are giving away an RSI Apollo Triage, a medium-sized flying medical clinic. It also comes with lifetime insurance and access to Star Citizen with a game package. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during this month of September. If you would like to further support the channel, please remember to like, share, subscribe, watch my other videos on the channel for everything Star Citizen related. There's a load of useful links below as well to a load of stuff that I support or support me in some way with like NordVPN and all that sort of jazz, Game Glass, loads of cool stuff. But also, you could clickety-click on the join button under my videos to help support the channel even more by giving a little bit of money. Oh, isn't that good? Get a load of exclusive little bonuses as well. Or you can use Patreon to do pretty much the same thing, whatever you fancy. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great September, and I'll see you in the verse.